What is up? Welcome into yet another edition of Benstant Reaction, an instant reaction to a game, a trade, something big happening in the sports world. Maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's just an event that happened. And right now, as you guys know, I cover the Arizona Cardinals here at Fox Sports 910 in Phoenix. Executive producer of the show, The Drive with Jody Ayler from 6 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can hear me on there every single day, and even on sometimes when I fill in for Jody when he is not on the show. So, the Arizona Cardinals defeat the Los Angeles Chargers by a score of 17-15 in this game. And my main takeaway is this. The Arizona Cardinals are officially a good team. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. I'm not saying this team is a playoff team. Plenty of good teams every year miss the playoffs. I'm not saying they're even one of the better good teams, as there's this sliding scale of which team is better than who. The Chargers are fully healthy tonight. They might win this game. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we all know the saying. The Cardinals are a good team. How good? I don't know. The defense needs work, although tonight they were fantastic, rushing to the ball. And just to harp on that, each and every week, it's so easy for Cards fans and people in the media to look at this Cardinals defense and say each and every week, oh, they're so awful. We knew how bad the Cardinals defense was going to be this year. I went on this show. I went on radio stations, and I told everyone how bad this team was going to be this year. It was not something that was a secret hidden from you. You knew it. We looked at them in practice every day, and we said, ooh, this defense does not look right. It's what got us so hyped up for the offense because they were going up against this defense every day in training camp. But man, do they play hard. This defense, the personnel on it is horrendous. And there's not a ton of talent. And it's filled with a bunch of rookies who are just trying to stay afloat. But man, do they play hard. And for the most part, if you take out the Commanders who are blowing out everyone, and the Packers, who look really good right now, just beat up on the Texans, this defense continues to put this offense in positions to win games. And that has always been the calling card for this team, is the offensive side of the ball. That's why I'm going to judge Kyler Murray more harshly, or I'm going to judge Drew Petzing more harshly. And I'm not going to come down on Jonathan Gannon as much as you might like for me to do so. This offense has to carry this team, not the other way around. But here's why I say tonight we learned the Arizona Cardinals are a good team. Not sure how good of a team they are. I don't think they're a playoff contender. But at the bare minimum, they are, and maybe in the worst aspect of it, a good team. Good teams find a way to win a sloppy football game. That game was the Chargers for the taking. That game looked like a Los Angeles Chargers game through and through, week in and week out. It was muck it up. It was physical at the point of attack. And if I switched these two jerseys, if I took the jerseys off the teams and we just watched them play in just helmets and pads, you would have thought the Los Angeles Chargers were the Cardinals. Because the Cardinals out-chargered the Chargers tonight. They were more physical. They ran the ball better. And defensively, they were swarming to every single play. That's what the Chargers do. That's what they do. They make you feel uncomfortable. They push you around. And for large portions of this game, the Arizona Cardinals out-chargered the Chargers and were more physical and the better team tonight for large stretches of this game. And it's why I believe at this point, at the bare minimum, this is a good football team. I don't think that they're a playoff team right now, but I do believe a team that can win ugly like that, where the offense isn't necessarily clicking and the defense has some lapses, and it's a brutal, slugfest, physical game, and you come out and do what the Chargers do well and do it better than them, that's a good head coach. It's a really good quarterback. Both head coach quarterback most NFL execs, most NFL fans would take over Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon in a heartbeat. And those two guys, Jonathan Gannon with his defense and Kyler Murray with both his arm and legs, out-chargered the Chargers. And that's the sign of a good football team. When you can win ugly, when you can do it when it just is ridiculously difficult. This defense, can't say enough good things about them. And moving over to Kyler Murray. This is one of the more impressive games from Kyler. An early interception that got batted down, and he owes James Conner a thank you, because if that ball stays intercepted and the Chargers go and score, it could be A, the difference in this game, and B, a Twitter or social media reckoning for Kyler Murray, talking about his frame, his size, he can't see over the lineman, all of it. But Kyler, for the most part, against what is a pretty good defense and a physical Chargers team, played what I thought was pretty well. 14 for 26, 145 yards, a touchdown. But what was most impressive was Kyler's ability to escape and make the opposing team pay with his legs. This is not new information. Kyler Murray is best when he is moving. Move that pocket. Throw some rollouts. Get Kyler Murray on the move. His secret weapon is his mobility, escapability, and that he's just as accurate running than he is in the pocket. This is not new information. I thought it was a pretty good game from Drew Petzing. Aside from one thing, if I ever see Clayton Tune on the field on a 4th and 1, whether it's important, and there was one that was important, and there was one that wasn't really important, if I ever see that again, Drew Petzing should lose his job on the spot. It is not that difficult to hand the ball off to the best short yardage back in the NFL right now, outside of Derrick Henry, in James Conner. It's really not that difficult. He was getting chunk yardage all game. He was running over players. It's really not that difficult. Give it to the guy that will run over the opposing defender and get 1 yard. If you don't get 1 yard handing the ball off to James Conner, I'll deal with it. But I never want to see Clayton Tune in the game again for the rest of the season. Even if Kyler gets hurt, I think Clayton Tune is awful. I never want to see him in the game again. Do not bring a cold player who hasn't done anything all game off the bench to go get a critical 4th down. That's the only time I'm going to say that. Because that was an egregious Madden-level mistake. Hand the ball off to James Conner. It really is not that difficult. Don't make it more harder than it has to be. Getting back to Kyler. I thought Kyler played well tonight. Probably wanted a couple of throws back. Looked a little sloppy. But his ability to make the team pay, the Chargers pay, by running the football, scrambling out, getting a long touchdown, that was the difference in this game. Spreading the ball around to wide receivers. I couldn't give a bleep if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't get his fair share of touches. If the Cardinals win the game and Kyler does it by spreading the ball out to every which player, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't care. I'm not fixated on getting Marvin Harrison Jr.'s touches. I'm fixated on winning the game. Earlier in the season, Kyler was forcing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., and we all said collectively, you shouldn't be doing that. And now that he's spreading the ball around, people are like, why aren't we getting the ball to Marvin more? Maybe because this is what makes the offense flow better. This is what opens up chunk plays for Marvin Harrison Jr. So let's not completely swing around to the other side of the pendulum and say, well, we got to force feed Marvin Harrison Jr. We saw that earlier in the season. It doesn't equate to wins. Spread the ball around to your playmakers, and naturally Marvin Harrison Jr. will get the payoff for that. Also, Marvin Harrison Jr. should have absolutely caught that last ball that turned out to be a flag or an unnecessary roughness. Absolutely the right call. You cannot go helmet to helmet with someone, but Marvin Harrison Jr.'s got to catch that ball. Still no worries about Marvin. Think he's a phenomenal talent. He'll get adjusted. He's a rookie. In this game, 3 for 21. 3 receptions for 21 yards. Should have had 1 at the end of the game. But ultimately, my takeaway is this. We learned tonight that the Arizona Cardinals are a good team. We're not sure how good they are. We're not sure they're a playoff team. But the Cardinals are a good team. It is tough to go into a physical, brutal game against the Los Angeles Chargers, who do everything well that you don't do well and that they can expose. And you flip the script on them. You out-chargered the Chargers with a head coach and quarterback combination, Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon, that most execs would not take over Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. That's a good Chargers team. Good teams win ugly. The Cardinals showed tonight they're a good team. They can win ugly. The defense and the offense complemented each other at times. Consistency is still a calling card for this team that they need to work on. They've got to be more consistent. But the ability to win a game that was physical, that was mucked up, that was a grueling game, physical to the point of attack, and you win that game, that's impressive. Jonathan Gannon deserves all the roses for what he did with the defense tonight. And it's why you can continue to see that Jonathan Gannon is a good coach, is a great coach. Leadership, culture, and he's largely made the defense viable. And I know a lot of the times fans don't like to hear that, but the defense have largely kept this team in games and have given the offense the chance to win games. The Bills, tonight, they've continued to do that. And going up against a Chargers team that does everything well, can expose every deficiency you have, and you completely flip the script and out-physical the Los Angeles Chargers, whose identity is smash-mouth football and physical to the point of attack, you're a good football team. And you look ahead to the schedule where it's a lot of Dolphins, potentially Tim Boyle, who knows if Tua's going to go, Caleb Williams, a rookie, Aaron Rodgers, who's looked terrible, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, who's been good, but still, Geno Smith again. The Cardinals have a stretch here. And then following Geno Smith, Drake May, potentially Bryce Young. The Cardinals have a stretch here to go on a little bit of a run and potentially get a hold of this division and potentially grab a playoff spot. But overall, the Cardinals proved tonight they can be a good team and they can beat a good team. And the season that looked to be hanging in the balance tonight is now salvaged at least for another week. Can you take advantage of the pretty easy schedule you have coming up and potentially get a hold of a playoff spot and potentially take over the NFC West? That is the next challenge for the Cardinals. Be consistent. Those were my thoughts on tonight's game.